Welcome back, Troglodytes, to another episode of Trogly's Guitars. Today we have a first year 2012 Gibson SG Derek Truck signature model. Now, I was dealing back when these things were brand new. I mean, it's nice to be able to say that. And I can tell you at the end of the run, these were kind of discounted heavily and blown out by places like Sweetwater for $1,100. And in my opinion, that was too cheap. I mean, even myself, I bought like 4 of them brand new, and I was able to, sell them at that $1,300 mark. And nowadays, now that all those are, gone up, used and done, generally these sell for around the $1,500, $1,600 mark. Sometimes you can get lucky and get them around that $1,100 to $1,300, but $1,300 is an awesome deal for one of these. So you're going to notice that this is a little bit different from a regular SG in that it doesn't have a pick guard, but it does have the tenon cover guard here. But it has one of those fancy vibrola tailpieces on it. I mean, it even says Gibson. I think it would have been cool if it said Trucks, but that's kind of what makes this model so great. If you don't know who Derek Trucks is, or you don't really care, you just want a cool SG, that's what I love about these, is there's nothing that says Derek Trucks on this guitar. I know some of the later made ones, they do have a Derek Trucks truss rod cover, but it just says Gibson on this, so it's really cool because you can get an awesome historic-like SG for way less than a historic SG's price. Historic SG, vintage original spec, I mean, that's gonna set you back at least $2,000. Usually even more. You get your historic ABR1 bridge, regular tailpiece, but you also have the cool vibrola little thing here. This is not hooked up at all. I'm not even sure if you can put a bar on that if you modify it. I don't think you can. It's just there for looks, and I think it looks awesome. So this is just a really cool SG standard, and they are an awesome value for the money, once again, as I previously said, and they're actually good players. So let's go ahead and take a look at this guitar. The face of the headstock on this one is in really good shape. I mean, this was just a very lightly played. I mean, you can see some very minor edge wear, but most of this, I mean, you might have some light string change wear, but it's just, handling marks really that could polish off. The only real major cosmetic flaw on this guitar is from the factory. I'm not even sure if this is going to show up. You can see there's a little bit of like tooling marks, mainly from like the 1st to 5th fret along the binding. I mean, strictly cosmetic, but that's what kind of keeps this one, 2014 blowout price point range. If you rub your thumb along it like this, you're going to feel it, but in normal play, it really doesn't feel any different. These have rosewood fretboards, very thin 60s profile necks, kind of the wide and thin. I mean, not 2015 wide thin, but your standard Gibson wide thin. Sweet trapezoid inlays. And I would say the action could be lowered on this one. I mean, it's comfortable, the frets are nice and tall, so the action like this might look a little high, but since the frets are kind of tall, it really evens it out. I mean, it's a comfortable playing guitar. I mean, as you can see here, you do still have some room to go down if you would wish. Pickups in these are awesome 57 Classics, straight up 57 Classic. This is before the 57 Classic Plus. And once again, no pick guard was ever on there. You could add one if you want. I've seen a few of them like that. Just really cool, dark cherry guitars. I mean, this one's in good shape. You're gonna find some, light nicks and dings. I mean, I didn't see a lot, mainly just handling marks here and there. But this particular guitar has already sold. I posted it on Reverb and it sold within, a couple hours, because I knew it was a good deal, and I got a good deal on it, so I was passing it on. So this is a first year 2012 model. They made these from 2012 through 2015, and it was like late 2014, 2015 is when Sweetwater started blowing these out. And it's because I guess they had like thousands of them in the warehouses. But, now that that's all gone, you're not going to find them for that good of a price again. I mean, occasionally a used one will show up at auction or something that you can get a good deal like that again, but that just really critically undervalued these guitars. mean, this guitar, I'm surprised they sell any less than 1800. I mean, they are fantastic guitars. They are very close to historic spec. I mean, obviously, they're not the same as a historic SG. Basically, the only thing that gets them closer is the ABR one. A Derek Trucks signature SG really isn't that much more than a standard 61 reissue type guitar. But overall, this one's clean. I mean, there aren't any major nicks or dings. I mean, I'm sure you'll find one or two as you look around the guitar, but I didn't really see anything major to point out. I mean, it looks like you got a tiny little scratch there. But overall, it's a very clean example. Being a modern guitar, we're not going to see anything under black light, but it would show us if there had been a repair or touch-up of some nature. So let's go over this real quick here. Back the headstock's good. You can see there is a small kind of smudge right there, like right as the open book shape is going down. No breaks, cracks, or repairs. Those are just my handling marks. Good. Once again, a nice slim 60s profile on that one. Looks like you can see some dust and whatnot, but overall, nothing to worry about on this guitar. I mean, for being 5 years old, it's in pretty good shape. And to add to the blowout story of these, it's the 2014-2015 models that got the good price. So I think the original retail of these was a little over $2,000, so this was one that somebody paid a lot of money for. The signature SG comes in its original Gibson USA made in Canada case, which is kind of ironic if you think about it. But I believe these are TKL made. Overall, the exterior, it's in good shape. It's got that snakeskin-like Tolex. I don't see any major nicks or dings or tears in it. Came off there, but overall it's in good shape. I mean, you can tell this one wasn't really gigged heavily by any means. I mean, everything is functioning. This is probably just one that kind of sat under the bed and was lightly played over the years. The interior is that beautiful white, and it still kind of has that original vanilla scent to it. And it's not dirty by any means. I mean, it's a great case. Having bought 4 of these brand new, it can vary what case these actually came with. There was like one that was really heavy, like ridiculously heavy, and then there's these nice lighter ones that are still as protective, and this is the one you want. You have your original pre-pack checklist here. You can see 51712, your owner's manual, and this looks like an unfilled out warranty card, your original silica packet. This one weighs 7 pounds, 1.8 ounces, which is pretty good for one of these. For the cleans, we'll be running through a Gibson Super Gold Tone GA30RV, and for the distorted, we'll be running through a Gibson Classic Gold. guitar, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Troglys. I'll be glad to point you in the next direction or help you find one. Because this one has already been sold. Alright, Troglodytes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.